Okay, maybe these ones are going to be what makes the Flame Swordsman cards good. All right, let's find out. I mean, we had some pretty okay ones. But now we have the whole thing because of all the different Yu-Gi-Oh influencer openings. They get to open up the cards, and it'll never be me. They'll never do that for me because I like to complain. So yes, the Fighting Flame Swordsman was the Spell Trap Searcher and the Foolish Burial, which is a pretty good card. The fusion that we saw was not particularly good, but let's see what the other cards have in store. Salamander, the Flying Flame Dragon. That's level 2 Fire Dragon, which means it's a sprite target. While this card is equipped to a Flame Swordsman or a monster mentions it, equipped monster gets 700 attack. Okay, it's the Salamandra effect, of course. You can use each of the following effects of Salamander, the Flying Flame Dragon, once per turn. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you could target one warrior monster you control, equip this card to that monster you control as an equip spell. Yeah, I mean, it's equip monster, but it works from graveyard just like the fusion does. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one Salamandra spell trap from your deck to your hand. Sure. So that's another search. You get a bunch of searches in this deck. That's actually pretty good. Like if you summon this, you get a search of a spell trap, or is it? No, it's a card that mentions Flame Swordsman, and then you can also send this to the graveyard to get its search for a spell trap, and then you can equip it for 700 extra attack. All right, we got Mirage Swordsman, which sounds like it should be an illusion monster, but it's still a warrior. It's level 8 too. So face-up fire fusion monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect. You special summon this card from your graveyard, even if it was there when the monster was destroyed, or hand, even if not. So it's a Blue Eyes Jet Dragon for Flame Swordsman. That seems reasonable for the archetype. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy both battling monsters. Okay. If this card is destroyed by battle or another card's effects, you can special summon one level 7 or lower monster that is Flame Swordsman or mentions it from your deck or extra deck. That's pretty good. So this is so I think the reason why it's called Mirage is because of Mirage Knight, and then it references Mirage Knight by being able to summon out another Flame Swordsman. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work with Flare Knight or Mirage Knight, but you know, still pretty neat reference there. I like that. I think that's pretty cool. It's not necessarily a great card, but like the float is good, but the fact, I guess if it's destroyed, its effect there to destroy also lets it float into something. Well, no, it says by another card's effect, not its own effect. So if you use the destruction effect, you don't get to float. That's annoying. That's actually really annoying. I wish it had the bounce effect that Blue Eyes Jet Dragon has. Well, anyways, let's keep going. Ultimate Flame Swordsman. This is going to be the big boss monster, 2800 attack. You can target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Okay, fire cards have a lot of burn to them usually. This is a quick effect. This card is equipped with an equip card, which is pretty easy to do. Fighting Flame Dragon does it, or the other one. I just noticed this has specific requirements of Flame Swordsman and Fighting Flame Dragon, which are 2 extra deck cards. There is that new card that lets you summon a monster that is mentioned on a card, like on a card in the extra deck from the extra deck, which will help with this, but like that's actually pretty annoying, and especially since I don't remember Fighting Flame Dragon having a really easy way to special summon itself, other than the fact that it's a pretty generic materials. But yeah, so the quick effect, this card is equipped with a equip spell or card. It doesn't have to be a spell. At the start of the damage step, this card battles, you can double this card's attack at the end of the turn, but if you do, destroy it during the end phase of this turn. You only use each effect once per turn. Why? Why would you even limit it like that? You can make better cards than this. You're allowed to. If you're gonna make the material Flame Swordsman and Fighting Flame Dragon, you could make a much better card than that. And I guess you could cheat it out with Mirage Swordsman too. But dog, it's got a battle trick. It's got one pop and a battle trick, and the pop is only a quick effect if you have an equipped spell. I guess at least it doubles the card's attack, not its original attack. So if it's equipped with Fighting Flame Dragon and Salamandra and maybe some more, maybe the spells and traps will be good too, then it has even more attack. But like that still just makes it better at doing damage. But like, what if it gets banished? You know? Alright, we already read Fighting Flame Dragon last time. Flame Swords Realm. I actually like that name. That's a really cool name. Swords Realm is a really interesting concept, like just as a name. I might use that in an RPG or something. Alright, continuous spell. Opponent cannot activate cards or effects and normal summon a fire warrior monster. Well, that's alright. No imperm on your Fighting Flame Swordsman. Once per turn, you can send one monster from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard. Special summon a Flame Swordsman from your extra deck. Okay, well that helps get rid of that problem with the Flame Swordsman then. This is treated as a fusion summon. Once per turn, when the monster declares an attack, you can target one warrior monster you control until the end of this turn. It loses exactly 1,000 attack, but all other monsters you control gain 1,000 attack. Okay, so that could apply to Ultimate Flame Swordsman. You make one of your worst cards lose 1,000, and this guy gains 1,000, and then you use its double effect in battle, and it gets really huge. That's neat. I'm sure you could pretty easily like OTK with this deck. It's just a matter of like, can you get there? And not being able to negate your normal summon is pretty nice, but I don't know. Alright, Salamandra Fusion. It's an equip spell. A fusion, that's an equip spell. That's interesting. Equip only to a fire warrior monster. It gains 700 attack. Cool. If the equipped monster would be destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can destroy this card instead. Okay, so it's got a protection effect as well. Oh, that means it's a pretty good card with Ultimate Flame Swordsman. It gives Ultimate Flame Swordsman some protection, and we have lots of spell searching. And what do they search again? Salamandra spell traps. So it doesn't search this, but it does search Salamandra Fusion. But the other one searches anything that mentions Flame Swordsman, and this definitely mentions that. So at least we have that. But yeah, if you use it, while this card is equipped to a fusion monster you control. Oh, so it is like specifically designed to be equipped to Ultimate Flame Swordsman. Or to Flame Swordsman itself. While this card is equipped to, you can send this card and the equipped monster to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon a Flame Swordsman or a fusion monster that mentions it from your extra deck. Yeah. You can only use this effect of Salamandra Fusion once per turn. Alright. Yeah. Seems alright. And then you have that other card that can summon out so like you can use Flame Swords Realm to get Flame Swordsman out, and you can use that one card that summons things that are mentioned to get Fighting Flame Dragon out. And then you can use Salamandra Fusion to go into Ultimate Flame Swordsman, or you can use Mirage Swordsman to cheat into it. That's like fine. That's a decent amount of ways to get to it, especially since this is searchable. Alright, Fighting Flame Sword as a quick play spell. Activate one of these effects. Add one card from your deck to your hand that mentions Flame Swordsman except Fighting Flame Sword. Okay, that's already another, just more consistency. That's really nice. When an attack is declared involving a fire warrior monster you control, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. Stop with the destruction, dog. Give us something that's more interesting. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets Flame Swordsman or a monster that mentions it that you control, negate that effect. Targeting negation. Stop giving us targeting negation. Alright, well, it's a searcher card, so you're still playing 3 of it, and the other effects are just like icing on the cake. You know, it's a Rhoda for the entire archetype. It's not even just Rhoda, because it also gets the spell traps that mention Flame Swordsman, which I think all of them do. So yeah, that's an incredible card. And it just has 2 extra effects on top. Alright, and we have 2 traps. Ooh, Salamandra with Chain. That's a fun reference to Red Eyes with Chain, and Kunai with Chain. Classic Joey cards. Well, I guess Red Eyes with Chain is a reference to Kunai with Chain, because it's also a classic Joey card. But yes, normal trap, target one fire monster in the field, equip this card to it, the equip card gains 700 attack, because that's Salamandra. Then you can change one effect monster in the field to face down defense position. Oh, neat. A little Book of Moon to it. I think that's actually pretty good already. You can banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon one Fire Warrior or Dragon Fusion monster from the extra deck, by shuffling its materials from hand, field, or graveyard into the deck, but destroy it during the end phase. Cannot use this effect. You can only use this once per turn. Interesting. That's as a trap, it's a quick effect, which means that you can use this to go into Big Boy in the battle phase to get a lot more damage in, and afterwards, if you equip it with Salamandra Fusion, you can use its effect. If you have an extra Salamandra Fusion in hand, you can use the effect of Salamandra Fusion to protect it from the destruction effect at the end of the end of the turn. Or you can summon Mirage Swordsman if it gets destroyed. I just realized this only special summons if a face-up fire fusion monster you control is destroyed. That's a lot worse than I thought it was. It's not Jet Dragon. It's worse. But, you know, this is a pretty good card. Salamandra with Chain's pretty good. And then we have Flame Swords Dance, another normal trap. Man, Labyrinth is eating good. Eating good in the neighborhood. If a monster special summon one level 7 or lower fusion monster from your extra deck that is Flame Swordsman or mentions it, so that way you get an easy access to Flighting Flame Dragon or Flame Swordsman. But since it says 7 or lower, you can't get the big fusion out, Ultimate Flame Swordsman. Then change one face-up monster on the field to face-down defense position, which can be your opponent. So you have another Book of Moon. There's 2 Book of Moon, and they're all both in trap form, which we can definitely search. Let's see here. Just means you can't, like, preemptively do it. During your opponent's battle phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, tribute one face-down defense position monster. Okay, so if you have a face-down defense position monster on your field because of the effect of Flame Swords Dance, you can use this. Tribute special summon one Flame Swordsman or monster that mentions it from the deck or extra deck. You only use this once per turn. So that is another way to get our Ultimate Flame Swordsman out. I gotta say, this one's kind of hard to evaluate. I feel like this is a bit harder to evaluate than some of the other ones we've been seeing. Like, obviously the first, like, 2 cards really didn't do a whole lot on their own, but these cards have kind of, like, shifted the balance here. We have, like, 3 different searches, and two of which, you know, can also be monsters, but can also be spell traps, and there's some pretty good spell traps here. The continuous spell is great. These trap cards are pretty good. I imagine you probably might play like one of each of these trap cards because they're both like pretty solid. None of it locks you either. There's like not a single lock in here, so you can do like some link climbing with all the Flame Swordsmans you summon. Very interesting. Very interesting. The problem is though, if you use up your Flame Swordsman, like if you gotta be playing like 3 Flame Swordsmen, because if you use them up, then you have nothing left. And there's some of these that are like it has to be Flame Swordsman, or there's some of them that are like it has to be a level 7 or lower Flame Swordsman monster. So that could be fighting Flame Dragon and Flame Swordsman, and that's it. Because I don't think there's another fusion monster that fits any of those requirements. Yeah, a little hard to evaluate because these ones are working on an unusual axis. I don't like that there's not a whole lot of interruption. It's definitely an OTK deck, but it's still got to be able to play through stuff. The fact that you can't get your they can't what is it again? Hold up. Activate cards or effects when you normal summon it. Yeah, so that's pretty good. They can't negate your summon, and they can't like do anything to stop it or anything. I feel like DD Crow is going to be a big weakness for this deck. I feel like there's been a lot of decks recently that are like pretty weak to DD Crow. DD Crow might have a nice time in the near future. It's already being played pretty well in the current format, and this is going to make it even more so. Yeah, these are interesting though. Definitely interested in these. I think this is one of the more promising TCG exclusive archetypes that I've seen. Like this is not Testina, this is not any of those kind of things. I imagine we're gonna get maybe a second wave in the near future, although it's not like put into a main set, and there's a lot of cards here. Like this is actually a pretty impressive like first wave for an archetype. I imagine we're gonna get a second wave. I don't know for sure, but I imagine we will in the TCG, and then there'll be like once it gets to the OCG, they'll also print a couple of new cards for it that'll be probably pretty crazy. They usually print pretty crazy cards for our TCG exclusives once they hit OCG. But yeah, I'm interested though. That's these are pretty neat, and there's a bunch of new fire support cards that'll go with them. Bonfire doesn't really work with them, but you can do some stuff regarding like maybe some Snake Eye stuff in here potentially, although they might not, but you know, maybe there's definitely some things you could do. And then of course there's Rhoda as well, because it's a warrior archetype. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm interested to hear what you have to say, and you know, keep it civil of course as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone. Hey there, thanks for watching another video. Why don't you give it a like, share it around, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications. You know, the YouTube stuff. You can also follow me on Twitch and Twitter for more content. I got content plenty for ya. You can also support the channel by giving me money. You have a Patreon. If you join the Patreon, you can show up in the credits over here. I would really appreciate that. You can also use my TCG Player affiliate link to get any singles, sealed product, or accessories that you want, all to supporting the channel at the same time. That's all for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and have a wonderful rest of whatever time it is for you. Bye now!